exactly what you want to see. Let's run this puppy in. Score a touchdown and tie this game. Life, run for your life, touchdown on one play. Worked on this in practice. Touchdown. It's up to Kelvin Benjamin. This is all you, buddy. Kelvin Benjamin for a touchdown. Oh, he toasted his man. Holmes toasted his man. Spin move. Oh! Oh! What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another week of recapping the rest of the NFL schedule from this past Sunday. That is right. We are once again done with another week. Week number 7 is in the books, except for obviously, well, when you're seeing this, last night's Monday Night Football. I recorded this obviously like I do every week before Monday Night Football because the way that my schedule works, I don't have enough time to record a video to get up in time for you guys to see it by the time Monday Night Football happens or after Monday Night Football happens. So we do it before. But that's the only one that we don't recap. But it usually doesn't really matter. So we recap the rest of the Sunday night slate. Obviously, if you want to see my reaction to the Patriots absolutely clapping the cheeks of the New York Jets, make sure you go back and watch yesterday's video because that was a good one. It was a banger. Just go back and watch it. I was pretty hyped. So let's kick this off with the first game on the schedule, Falcons and Dolphins. And boys, does this one make me happy? Because if you guys don't know, my brother is a Miami Dolphins fan. So anytime I get to rub it in his face that his team is really bad, I take full advantage of that because the Falcons win 30-28 on a game-winning field goal that the Dolphins probably should have won this game. Tua had a very, very impressive final drive to get the Dolphins down into scoring range and then scored a touchdown to take the lead. But it did not really go that well because the Dolphins defense, who we all thought in the offseason, the preseason, was going to be actually like really good because last year they were really good. So why would we think they weren't going to be good? They didn't really change much. But then we get to the season and they are now 1-6. A 1-6 Dolphins team that is on the prowl for Deshaun Watson. So this whole organization is just, it's in disarray, to be nice. So Falcons win 30-28. I despise the Falcons, but I was happy to see the Dolphins lose just because it's fun to see the Dolphins lose. Just like how I love to see the Browns lose, but they didn't lose either. So we move on to the Giants and Panthers. Giants win 25-3. This was a gross game. Very, very gross game. Because it was 5-3 at like close to halftime or at halftime or something. It was just a gross game. Both these teams are bad. Nobody cares about the Panthers. Nobody cares about the Giants. They're both garbage organizations. They're both garbage teams. They both have garbage rosters. Both have garbage quarterbacks. I mean, I thought Sam Darnold was going to change his tune in Carolina, and the first 3 games of the season actually were starting to trend in that area where they were proving me right. Like, oh, Sam Darnold's actually a legit decent quarterback, but He's not. I don't know what to make of Sam Darnold at this point. We know what Daniel Jones, that he's not good. Daniel Jones is not good. Yes, they won 25-3, but did you watch that game? Daniel Jones is not good. But Sam Darnold may be even worse because it's not just about the talent that Sam Darnold has or doesn't have. It's about his decision making. Sam Darnold is one of the worst decision makers in all of the NFL at quarterback. He doesn't make the right decision. He makes the dumb decisions. He makes the worst decisions. The only reason the Giants got a safety is because he had an intentional grounding penalty in the end zone. Like, what kind of idiot does that? You're an NFL quarterback. I know you're under pressure. I know it's a crazy thing when 4 or 5 250-plus pound men are coming at you at full speed. I understand the difficulty at quarterback, but you've been playing quarterback for a while now. You gotta know that situation to just throw it in at least some sort of direction of a receiver. Just throw it. Don't throw it at the ground when you're in the pocket in the end zone. Dumb. as Sam Darnold is not a good quarterback. It doesn't look like it was just a Jets thing. It looks like it was a Sam Darnold thing too. So Giants win 25-3, but it was a gross game. And then we get to the most surprising, well, I shouldn't say that. One of the most surprising results of the entire day. The Bengals win against the Ravens, and they didn't just win against the Ravens, they blew the Ravens out. 41-17. Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase is my new favorite connection. I mean, Joe Burrow, I always believed in Joe Burrow because he's a former Ohio State Buckeye quarterback, so kind of got that little like love relationship with Joe Burrow. Yes, he made his success in LSU, but he'll always be a Buckeye. And now he's in Cincinnati, and I was rooting for him, and I like Joe Burrow, I like Jamar Chase. And this Bengals team, I don't know if they're legit, but they they took on a we know is legit Ravens team, and they put them in the dirt. They pounded the Ravens, running the football, throwing the football. Joe Burrow looked in sync with Jamar Chase. They looked dominant. There was open receivers all over the place. The Ravens defense played kind of bad. The only mistake that Joe Burrow really made in this game was a poor interception that he threw in the end zone when he was kind of like throwing out of the pocket. He was running on throwing on his right, and he faded it up to Jamar Chase in double coverage, and it just got picked off by Marlon Humphrey. But that was really the only mistake that he made. Other than that, it was a domination by the Bengals, which nobody thought was going to happen. Lamar Jackson looked okay. He looked good, but he just didn't really feel like he was in control of this game. And the Bengals, they took advantage of that, and they dominated that. That was a very surprising result. I don't know if the Bengals are legit, but they felt legit on Sunday. And then we get to probably what was the most surprising result. Titans and Chiefs. Now, what do we make of this? What do we make of this? Titans win 27-3. Do we believe in the Titans? And do we believe in the Chiefs? These are the two big questions we got to answer. I believe, maybe not so much in the Titans as I believe in Derrick Henry. So, just run Derrick Henry. That's all you got to do. You're going to do fine if you're just doing that. On the Chiefs side of things, I think it's a little bit more in-depth than just believing in one guy. Because Patrick Mahomes has not looked good this year. He's thrown a lot of interceptions. Yes, a few of them have been tip balls, but a few of them have been just bad reads by Patrick Mahomes. He got hurt in this game at the end of it, where he was getting sacked, he was getting wrapped up, and then he was like throwing the football, or he was doing something, he was like falling forward, and then Jeffrey Simmons' big meaty thigh comes and just mashes his face in, and his head goes back like that, and it just like it gets all crunched up and stuff. It was a bad scene. He was completely out of it. He had no idea where he was. If you go back and watch that clip, he had no idea where he was. He was out of it. He was done. So he doesn't come back in the game. Chad Anything is possible finishes the game, and the Titans dominated this game. They looked really good on both offense and defense. Now, the Chiefs, are they frauds? Are they not as good as we all thought they were? They're my Super Bowl pick. So my Super Bowl pick is not looking good this year. I had a rematch, Tampa and Kansas City in the Super Bowl this year in my official predictions. So, I mean, my Tampa pick looks good, but my Kansas City pick is not looking that good. So I don't know what to make of the Chiefs. They've got a lot of drops. Their star players, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, aren't making the impacts they usually do. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not running the football as good as he was last year or the year before. You got Patrick Mahomes. I forgot his name for a second. You got Patrick Mahomes, who's just not really doing it right now. Like, he's just not. The Chiefs just don't feel the same as they did the previous years. They don't feel as dominant. I feel like teams have figured them out. If you just bring a lot of pressure on Patrick Mahomes, he has to run and make things happen. And if you have good coverage in the back, there's really not going to be a lot of openings. I mean, if you stop Tyreek Hill from going deep, and you stop him from, if you eliminate Tyreek Hill's speed, he's not that good of a receiver. Yes, he's got good hands, but his speed is what makes him an electric receiver. If you stop Travis Kelce from being physical, you stop him from being a good tight end. So teams have seemed to figure out the Chiefs' game plan, And if you pressure Patrick Mahomes, you bring a lot of blitz. I mean, Tampa gave us the formula. They wrote it down for us, like on paper. They gave us the formula to beat the Chiefs. And now every team has picked that paper up and they've run with it. So do we believe in the Chiefs? I think they can come back and have a resurgence and make the playoffs. But the way that they're playing right now, I don't know if they can be a Super Bowl contender and even back up my prediction of winning the Super Bowl, because they're my Super Bowl pick. Like, I picked them to beat Tampa. So I don't know. Are we a little bit worried about the Chiefs? Let me know down in the comments. Then we got, obviously, Patriots-Jets. We talked about that in the last episode, so you guys can go watch that back if you want to see my reaction to that. Packers in Washington was a game that we all kind of assumed was going to be the result. Packers win 24-10. Taylor Heineke, he always shows flashes. He shows little flashes of brilliance or greatness or serviceableness, if that's a word, on the field every single week. He shows flashes of him actually being a good quarterback, and then it comes down to earth, and he's not that good. We all get obsessed, and we all get those little heart eyes for like a cartoon, for backup quarterbacks, and for quarterbacks that don't ever get a shot. It happens all the time. It happened with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and there's a reason Ryan Fitzpatrick has been on so many different NFL teams in his career. So it happened with Taysom Hill, and it's happening with Tyler. It's happening with Taylor Heineke. So people assume that he's a good quarterback because he's showed flashes of being a good quarterback. But just because you've shown flashes of being a good quarterback doesn't mean you can consistently be that. And Taylor Heineke, in my opinion, is not that. Taylor Heineke is a backup quarterback in this league. He will always be a backup quarterback in this league. And when the football team finds a quarterback, whether that be Fitzpatrick, who in my opinion is a backup quarterback as well, but whether that be Ryan Fitzpatrick coming back from injury, or they draft somebody, or they get a free agent quarterback or something, Taylor Heineke will go back to being a backup. It's the same thing with Kyle Allen. It's the same thing with Sam Darnold at this point. It's the same thing with Daniel Jones. It's the same thing with a lot of these guys. Some guys are just meant to be backups. They're just not good enough to be starters in the league. So Taylor Heineke falls into that. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is a freak of nature. He's one of the best of all time. He makes crazy plays to Devontae Adams. I mean, it's wild. Packers win 24-10. Rams and Lions, the return of the return of Matt Stafford and Jared Goff. Jared Goff comes back to LA to play against the Rams. Stafford goes against his former team, his only team, and the Rams prove why the Lions are bad. 28-19. There was a couple people that I saw on Twitter thinking, oh, the Lions are going to win this game. The Lions are up by a touchdown early in the game. What's going to happen? Are the Rams going to lose? Are the Lions finally going to get their first win? No. The Lions are not going to get their first win. You want to know why? Because Dan Campbell, we talk about this every single week on the recap, Dan Campbell is not a head coach in this league. He is at best a defensive coordinator. But what I think, he's a strength and conditioning coach. That's what Dan Campbell is. He's an Anthony Schlegel type of coach. He is not a head coach in this league. Yes, he's got enthusiasm. He's got passion for the football, the game of football. He wants to bite kneecaps and seize every day. That's all fine and dandy. But when you actually have to get in the office and scheme a defense and scheme an offense and draw up plays and make hard decisions in the fourth quarter, Dan Campbell is not the guy. It's just that simple. It's black and white, ladies and gentlemen. It is black and white. Dan Campbell cannot make the tough decisions. He cannot make the right decisions in crunch time. He cannot draw up plays. He cannot be a head coach in this league. And I don't understand this infatuation with Lions fans saying, we got our guy in Dan Campbell. If you got your guy in Dan Campbell, you ride with that. You'll be 0-17 with Dan Campbell. It's just that simple. And maybe they need to have an 0-17 season to fully understand what everybody else on the outside is saying. And I'm not saying every Detroit Lions fan is like that. Not every Detroit Lions fan is fully invested and fully in on Dan Campbell, but there's a good majority that is, and I don't understand why. You're not seeing the big picture. You're just seeing the football guy that is, he's won with his team and he'll fight there right with you on the front lines. That's not what a head coach needs to be in 2021. Yes, that may have worked in the 80s or in the 90s. That's not going to work in 2021. You need to have a guy that is methodical and is 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of every other coach in the league. You got to have a guy that's the mental game. That's elite at the mental game, like a Nick Saban, like a Bill Belichick, like a Sean McVay. Sean McVay's like that too. All these coaches, John Harbaugh's even like that at some points. There's coaches in the league that are elite at doing that, and Dan Campbell's not one of them. So, Lions fans, you ride with Dan Campbell all you want, but you're not going to ride anywhere other than that number 1 pick because you're going to be 0-17. So, congratulations on making history, I guess, if you want to ride with Dan Campbell. Other than that, there was really no highlights of this game. Matt Stafford looked good. The Rams looked good. I mean, what do you expect? Then you got Raiders and Eagles. Raiders win 33-22, the second game without John Gruden. Raiders are an interesting team because at the beginning of the season, they were undefeated. They looked really good. Then they kind of slowed a little bit. They kind of dropped off a tiny bit. Now they're kind of stepping back up, but they are playing the Eagles, who I have famously on this channel come out and said the Eagles are garbage. They are not a good team. I don't believe in Jalen Hurts. So take that for what you will. The Raiders, I don't think are that good of a team, especially now that Darren Waller is hurt. He didn't play in this game and they still won, which is pretty impressive, but you should win against the Eagles no matter if your star plays or not. I don't believe really in the Raiders though. I don't believe the Raiders are going to be that much of a difference in this conference. They may make the playoffs just based on their schedule, but I don't think they make any noise. And that's only because I don't really trust Derek Carr. Like, Derek Carr has showed us in the past that he cannot be a big-time quarterback in this league. It's only a matter of time. Maybe this year will be different. Who knows? Maybe 2021 will be different. I personally don't think it will be. So, Raiders get the win, but they should have because they're playing the Eagles. Buccaneers and Bears, Brady versus Justin Fields. It was the first time Brady to ever come up against a Ohio State quarterback, starting Ohio State quarterback. And Brady and the Bucs absolutely clapped the Bears. 38-3. There was not a bunch of questions about this game. Brady looked good. I think he reached 600 touchdowns in his career in this game. Justin Fields struggled a little bit. This Bears offense is just bad, bro. I don't know who needs to hear it, but somebody does. Matt Nagy cannot be a coach in this league. He's not on the level of Dan Campbell, but he doesn't understand situationally. He doesn't understand Justin Fields' skills. And this is coming from a Buckeye fan, yes, but he doesn't understand Justin Fields' skills. I'd be saying the same thing if I was an Ohio State fan. Justin Fields is being underutilized by a horrible head coach who doesn't understand what he's doing with this offense. He has a horrible offensive line. His weapons are non-existent without Allen Robinson. And David Montgomery's hurt still. I don't know if he played in this game. I can't remember exactly. It's been a little bit now. So I don't remember if he played in this game. But if he didn't, then he has no weapons. I mean, Khalil Herbert is okay, but he's a non-factor really. Their defense is decent, but their defense is getting a little bit older now. So this Bears team is just in a bad spot. And especially with Matt Nagy, they're not going to go very far if they have Matt Nagy as their head coach. I like Justin Fields. I don't like Matt Nagy. Buccaneers, obviously we talked about this when I talked about the Chiefs. I picked them to win or to go to the Super Bowl, so obviously I like the Bucs. And obviously Tom Brady is my favorite player of all time, so Brady, he's good. Brady's good. That's all you really need to say. Brady and the Bucs win 38-3 over the Bears. Congrats. Texans, Cardinals. Boys. boys, do we believe in the Cardinals? Are the Cardinals legit, or are they just playing the bad teams in the NFL? I mean, yes, they beat the Rams, and everybody thought the Rams were gonna be the undefeated team in the league. Do we believe in the Cardinals? Do we believe in little itty bitty Kyler Murray? Do we believe in him? I talk about this every single week. I will only believe in Kyler Murray when he proves to me that he can stay healthy for a full season, now a 17-game season, plus playoffs, have a really good run, have good stats, make big plays, be in the MVP conversation throughout the entire year, and be healthy. That is the only way. I kind of believe in Cliff Kingsbury at this point. I think their scheme works. It works with Kyler Murray. Their defense is really, really good. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins is a monster. He's an animal, and they have a good thing going there in Arizona. But it all comes down to if Kyler Murray, he's so small. I don't want to take this as I'm hating on Kyler Murray, but he's just so small. You haven't seen it done in the NFL. A guy that small, that size, has never really done anything in the NFL, and there's a reason behind that. Not just because they can't stay healthy, but because the game catches up to them. And I'm not saying that's going to happen to Kyler. I'm just holding out my full support of the Cardinals until he proves to me over a consistent period of time that he can stay healthy and he can stay in the MVP conversation and he can be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He needs to prove that to me before I'm full force on this whole Cardinals train. That's all I'm saying. They look really good this week, and they look really good this entire season. They're the only NFL team that's undefeated. So, I mean, they're doing something right, obviously. But I still have my reservations, and I'm going to keep saying it every single week until something happens or until Kyler Murray proves me wrong. So that's all I'll say about that. They win 31-5 over a bad Texans team. We all know they're bad. Davis Mills is not the guy. I love Davis Mills because of the connection that we have with him through the Cougars franchise on Madden. So I personally like Davis Mills, but he's not a good quarterback. We talk about this all the time. He's not nothing. He's just... He's in the conversation with a Sam Darnold and a Daniel Jones and maybe even a Jalen Hurts at this point. I don't know. So Davis Mills is not good. We'll talk about him in the coming weeks because he's got a tough schedule, I think. So the final game of the weekend slate was Colts and 49ers. Colts win this game. I think it was 30-21 was the score. It was a sloppy game. Rain, wind. It was a gross, disgusting, sloppy slop fest there in San Francisco or Santa Clara, wherever they're at. And the Colts win. Carson Wentz is proving some people wrong. He's not proving me wrong because I still believe Carson Wentz is a bad quarterback and he's just having a good stretch of games. But I'm looking at Carson Wentz's overall body of work. I'm looking at the bigger picture. A lot of people are just looking at this little 2-3 game sample size with their goggles. They're like, oh, Carson Wentz has got so many yards, he's got so many touchdowns, he's making so many big plays. But you gotta look at the bigger picture when you're talking about Carson Wentz because he has a track record of being injured. He has a track record of making bad decisions, throwing a lot of interceptions, being a stupid quarterback at some points. So he's looked good. I'm not taking that away from him. He's looked good in this couple game stretch, but we also got to take into account that the 49ers defense has been hurt. Jimmy Garoppolo started this game because Trey Lance was hurt. So what do we make of the 49ers? They just can't seem to stay healthy. They had this whole thing last year where everybody thought they were going to repeat as Super Bowl contenders because they had this dominant defense, but they got hurt, so we all threw that away like, oh, that was just a throwaway year. Every team gets hurt one year, so, I mean, it just happens. But this year, it's happening again. I don't know if it's the field that they play on. I don't know if it's the trainers that they have there in San Francisco, they're not doing the right things. They're not getting their players healthy enough or conditioned enough to stay healthy. Like, I don't know what's going on in San Francisco, but something's not working right because they're getting hurt all the time. So I don't know what this isn't just a 1-year thing anymore. This is a back-to-back years where their defense is demolished by injuries, their offense is demolished by injuries. I don't know what's going on. So Colts win. It was a sloppy game, but the Colts do win. So we got a final game on Monday, Saints and Seahawks. I will give you my prediction because I'm recording this before the game, but obviously when you see this, the game will already happen, so my prediction will either be right or wrong. I'm going to pick the Saints win because I have no faith in Geno Smith. Geno Smith, I have always said, is a really, really bad quarterback. Even when he was on the Jets, even when he was wherever else he's been. I think he might only be on the Jets and the Seahawks. I can't remember actually where he's been. But the Saints win. I don't really believe in the Saints that much, though. Jameis Winston has looked like Jameis Winston at times. Alvin Kamara is really good. They should be getting Michael Thomas back here pretty soon if he's not already back. And the Saints will win. They will win because for the sole fact that Geno Smith is not a good quarterback. So that's my prediction. I'm not going to give you a score because I have no idea. I don't know, like 31-17. There, Saints win. I have no idea. But that's going to do it for this video. Let me know down below if you guys were shocked by any results. I want to hear about your thoughts about Patrick Mahomes. If you think that he's done, if you think that he's overrated, if you think that he's going to bounce back. I don't know. Let me know down below what you guys think. That's going to do it for me, though. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. Make sure to smash that like button and notification bell and the subscription button as well. Join the Juice Club. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.